The San Francisco 49ers probably could have done the same exact trade that the Jets pulled off with the Packers. The Jets reportedly received Rodgers, pick number 15, and a 5th round pick. The Packers receive pick number 13, a 2nd rounder, a 6th rounder, and next year 2nd round pick that could become a 1st rounder if Aaron Rodgers plays, I believe, 65% of the snaps. But the point is that the 49ers could have easily done a similar type deal, but they would have been locked in to Aaron Rodgers' crazy high cap number and would have had to extend him for a longer period. So did the 49ers actually lose this deal somehow, or were they secret winners of the Aaron Rodgers to the Jets deal? The first thing that must be said is that the Jets now have a solidified quarterback position under Robert Saleh, who used to also coach under Kyle Shanahan. And it's insane to think that Robert Saleh has a for sure quarterback position before Kyle Shanahan does. I mean, Kyle Shanahan's been coaching the 49ers for a while, and they still are struggling to find that solid placeholder that you need at a quarterback position. Not even just a placeholder, but a playmaker. With all that being said, I think the 49ers made the right choice and not trade for Aaron Rodgers. They have Trey Lance, Sam Darnold, and Brock Purdy. I think Brock Purdy is the front runner if he returns as healthy as he was last year. Also, the 49ers are still drafting Trey Lance this year. Their 1st round pick this year is used on Trey Lance. And I've never seen a team give up on a quarterback after only 4 starts, and I don't think the 49ers are going to be ready to give up on Trey Lance that early either. You can easily start the beginning of this season, and then we can get a deeper understanding of who Trey Lance is as an NFL quarterback before having a full competition with Brock Purdy. But Brock Purdy might also be ready to start week 1, which would be insane because I don't see how you replace him at that point. It's similar to what happened with Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo. None of the players wanted to move on from Trey Lance because Jimmy Garoppolo was a winner. They went to the Super Bowl with Jimmy, and he was just a foundational piece. And Brock has already started to submit himself in the Jimmy-esque type role. But I do think Brock is a better quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo right now in his career. He's much more mobile. I think he understands what the defense is trying to do to him a little bit better than Jimmy Garoppolo. And he's super calm and collected on the field. And the big reason for that is probably his S2 test, which I want to talk about this year's draft class really quick. So what is the S2 cognition test, and exactly how does it work? The test, which replaced the Wonderlic test, has 9 different segments, all of which are graded separately. And it measures the quarterback's ability to track multiple objects, make complex decisions, and filter through if-then scenarios with different defensive scenarios. So for instance, Brock Purdy scored a similar score to Drew Brees in the mid 90 percentile. In this year's draft, this has become kind of important because the first pick might be decided on his S2 cognition score. Bryce Young, the quarterback from Alabama, who may be the number 1 pick, had a score of 98%. While CJ Stroud, the other potential number 1 pick from Ohio State, had an S2 cognition score in the 18th percentile. Some GMs said this was so bad enough to take him off the board. But this is where the 49ers come into play, talking about this S2 cognition score. I mean, they already have some strong S2 cognition takers in their building in Purdy, and even Trey Lance scored between the 91st and 93rd percentile. In this year's draft, there's a quarterback that the 49ers could get that was the 2nd highest score in this draft, right behind Bryce Young, and that's Jake Haener from Fresno State, and he scored a 96%. Do you think the 49ers would be wise taking Jake Haener based solely on the S2 cognition score? I mean, Purdy's kind of reflected that, and a lot of NFL quarterbacks have a higher S2 cognition score, including Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, even Joe Burrow has a 97 percentile cognition score. So my question for you for today's video, how much importance do you put in the S2 cognition score? And do you think the 49ers made a huge mistake by not trading for Rodgers? I personally don't think it's a huge deal they didn't trade for Rodgers, but I would love to hear your opinion down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. It would also mean a lot if you subscribe and like.